Good morning, everyone. This is Father Alex Salazar, IVE priest, missioning in Mankato, Minnesota, and today is November 17th, 2024, and it is the 33rd Sunday of Ordinary Time. And our Gospel comes from the Gospel of Mark, chapter 13, verses 24 to 32. Jesus said to his disciples, "In those days, after the tribulation, the sun will be darkened, and the moon will not give its light, and the stars will be falling from the sky, and the powers in the heavens will be shaken. And then they will see the Son of Man coming in the clouds, with great power and glory. And then he will send out the angels, and gather his elect from the four winds, from the ends of the earth to the end of the sky. Learn a lesson from the fig tree. When its branches become tender, and it sprouts leaves, you know that summer is near. In the same way, when you see these things happening, know that he is near, at the gate. Amen, I say to you, this generation will not pass away until all these things have taken place. Heaven and earth will pass away, but my words will not pass away. But of that day or hour no one knows, neither the angels in heaven nor the Son, but only the Father." In a couple weeks, we will transition from ordinary time into the season of Advent, a time in which we offer prayer, preparation for the birth of Christ, also offering some sorts of penance as well. And really it's a time to prepare ourselves to be generous to Christ, to prepare our souls so that we may welcome the gift of salvation, we may welcome charity into our soul. Because sometimes we only wish to offer what is easy or what is light. And so, in a certain way, we can say the recompense is also there. It's the simple things. But when we are very generous in our offerings to God, in our prayers, and how we prepare ourselves, then certainly the graces are abundant. And I always remind myself of a little parable, a little story of a man who went into the market selling all kinds of fruits, imagining to make a great income from his sale. When a little poor old man came down asking for a generous offering. And the man said, to himself, he said, "I won't give him the watermelon because it's too big, nor the pineapple because I can still make a profit from this, neither the apple nor the orange." But he saw the smallest of grapes, plucked it, and gave it to the man. And he said, "Here you go, sir." And then the man put the grape in his pocket, thanking the man for his generosity. And then from the very same pocket, grape now turned into gold returns it back to him. And so the man wished to turn back and say, "Well, also take the watermelon." And then the man says, "What you have given me, it is such. Take care." And he disappears. And so we can say the same thing is in our own life. We can only give to God what we have now in this world, in this time. But when the end of time comes, or when we pass away from this life to the next, we cannot make any more offerings. And we will look back and we would wish that we would make more offerings to God, be more generous to God. That we can consider that the season of Advent is a time to invest in God. God will certainly multiply 100-fold what we have given him. And this is what the litany also says, in the litany of the Holy Name. It says, "Blessed be Jesus who returns to us 100-fold what we have given him." God multiplies what we have given him in a temporal way into heavenly treasures. Kind of like the poor woman who we heard in last week's gospel, last Sunday. She gives to God all that she had. Certainly God multiplied her offerings. And so God doesn't forget our generosity, but rather he remembers it and he repays us. As the Gospel of Matthew again also says, and your Father who sees in secret will repay you. And so we can't be stingy with God. We must be generous. If we want God to be generous with us, asking for the graces of humility, of patience, of perseverance, of faith, we must also give him our very best, the best that we have. And so these readings is a type of preparation, a type of preparing ourselves. As it says, the seasons are coming, right? To prepare ourselves, to be aware that Advent is coming because the birth of Christ is coming. In some way we can say this is almost like a type of prelude to the season of Advent. And then the Gospel also concludes saying, But of the day or the hour no one knows, neither the angels in heaven, nor the Son, but only the Father. In this case, it's very clear the church fathers say that Jesus is not totally oblivious of when he will come or return, judgment of the living and the dead, but rather is that it's to our convenient not to know. It's for us not to know, and it's for our own benefit. Because otherwise, in knowing, we can say we may fall into that type of procrastination, of saying, I know when I'm going to pass away, so I'll live life now and enjoy everything of life, and then when that time comes, I'll prepare myself. Or knowing when the Son of Man will come, then we will procrastinate our own salvation, our own holiness, or our practicing of virtue, or moments of prayer, the sacraments, because we'll have that date. And certainly it happens when we have assignments, when we're doing taxes. We end up procrastinating because we know of the date. But when we don't know the date, we're always prepared, and it's to our own benefit, because then we live day after day in holiness, in constant preparation, living out the life of the sacraments, of virtue, of grace, because we don't know the day, because it could be as soon as in an hour, as soon as tomorrow, or it could be several years or decades. But in not knowing the date, we are always prepared for when Christ returns. And so let us ask God, through the intercession of our Blessed Mother, that we may always grow in a spirit of preparation, of great humility, and of generosity. God bless.
Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed hearing the Gospel and homily, I invite you to share it with someone you know who may also find it rewarding, and also to subscribe to the Catholic Voice channel. Please see in the description below if you would like to receive a text message for each daily Gospel and homily. Please also keep our missionary priests throughout the world in your prayers. Thank you, and God bless.